evening. It's Wednesday night and time for another Facebook Live. I'm going to give you a few minutes to get on while I get this shared into my group so that if people are looking for it there, they can find it. Oops. Oh, man, don't tell me. Okay. I don't know. My laptop just closed the window. Hello, Nancy. Welcome. We'll see if I can get it shared. My laptop is acting up again. I decided to just close the window, so we're seeing if we can get it back. If not, then I'll just share it later. So I have not even had a chance. I had a busy day at work, and then I had my haircut, came home, had dinner, and then got ready for this. So I haven't even had a chance to look really at the retiring list. So I will try and get that posted for you tomorrow. But the retiring list is out. Hey, Betty. So you can see what's sticking around and what's not. But like I said, I haven't had a chance to even look. Okay, maybe we're going to get there now. Hope everybody is having a good week. We're halfway through. All right, let's try this again. Maybe it won't close my window this time. Computers can be so fun. All right. Now we're getting there. Share this. And then we will get started. I'll give people a few more minutes to get on. Okay. Now we are ready. Hey, Allison. We missed you at class the other night, but I heard you were helping with, I think it was volleyball, your mom said. All right, let's get started. So, you know I love butterflies, so I had to play with butterflies some more. But today's color, this week we've been concentrating on all of the in colors that are retiring. So this is Rococo Rose. I'll show you some cards at the end that have a selection of cards for all the in colors. But today we've been playing with Rococo Rose and, of course, my favorite butterflies. So I am going to make both of these cards because they're super simple to do. The only stamping I'm going to do is this background because I already had some of these butterflies stamped. So Allison's like, yay, butterflies. I know, it's my favorite. But since I already had some of these butterflies stamped, I decided it would be easy enough to do both. So let's start with this one. And this one I'm using some paper that we've got in the spring mini catalog. And it's this gorgeous black and white paper that has beautiful flowers on one side. And then just fun geometric. This is probably going to mess with the camera, all this geometric on the other side. So it's really versatile paper. You might miss it or overlook it right now because it's in the sets, in with all the Valentine sets. And you can do some beautiful Valentine's cards with these flowers, but you can also use them for anything, for birthdays, for anniversary, just for a friend card. So that's what I've used behind the butterfly. And I decided on this one not to color the butterfly, although I meant to do Wink of Stella on his wings. Oh, I did do it. Oh, good. It's probably just doesn't show. Oh, you can see a little bit. In person, it's very shimmery. But because I had all of this Rococo Rose, I thought if I colored his wings Rococo Rose, that they would just blend in. So that's why I didn't color his wings. So let's get started. So I have my butterfly already stamped and cut, and I will put the measurements for both of these cards on my blog when this is over. Piece of that designer series paper, a piece of Rococo Rose, and this is what we're going to stamp our butterflies on. So I have my Stamparatus with a stamp this big. You can get a block that's this big, but it's much easier to do it on your Stamparatus because when you have a block that big, it's a little bit harder to manage. Hello, Michelle. Welcome. So let's make sure I'm staying in the frame for you here. Let's get over a little bit. Also, when you're using the Stamparatus, it helps to put a stamp case underneath of it, and it just gives you a little firmer surface to ink up your stamps. So, before I ink it up, let's put our paper in here. So I've just made, this one is actually going to go up here. You have this grid paper that goes with the Stamparatus, and so you can just kind of line it up, and I'll make sure that's in the hole. Turn it just a little bit. I want it to be in the hole between those butterflies so that it doesn't interfere with my stamping. There, you can see it a little better. All right, so I've got my paper ready. So I'm going to ink up my butterfly. So this is Rococo Rose on Rococo Rose. I'm just going to ink that up. And then just press it. It's kind of glary on that, sorry, on that plastic. And then when you lift it up, like I missed a spot there, and just put it with the Stamparatus, you can just put it back down. It'll go right down in the exact same spot. I think that looks pretty good. All right. That is all the stamping we're doing tonight. Like I said, these were pretty easy cards. Neither one of them have sentiments on the outside, but you could certainly add one. If I was going to add it, I would probably stamp in black on a piece of Rococo Rose and just like put it down here or something like that. That's probably what I would do. Okay, but I don't know if you can tell on camera. I ran this through the Tasteful Textile embossing folder, and it's one of my favorites. It almost makes the paper look, I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute, like canvas. So I'm going to bring in my mat that my friend Sandra gave me, and my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and our Tasteful Textiles. That is a little close now, isn't it? Let's move you up just a little bit so you're not sitting right on the machine. And a lot of these, I don't know if you'll be able to see, have lines here, so you can line it up so that your paper is straight, which I really like. And this is a 3D embossing folder. You can tell by looking at the front, it'll say 3D on it. So if it's 3D, you use just your base, then your embossing folder, and then this plate that comes with it. So this is just for these 3D embossing folders. And then run that through. And we'll get this out of the way. And this out of the way. Okay. So now, it's just like, it makes it just look kind of like canvas, I think. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. But it just gives it some texture. All right, so we are ready to put this together. I have a Rococo Rose base. And again, I'll put all my measurements on my blog. I'm going to go ahead and put my piece of DSP on here first. And I'm going to use liquid glue anytime I'm adhering anything to embossed paper or adhering embossed paper to other paper. I use this liquid glue. It just holds better. So I'm going to put this on. And the reason I'm putting this on first is that if it's a little bit too long, then I can trim it off before I put it on here. But that seems to be okay. So now we're ready to put this on our card base. I think they're pretty Rococo Rose butterflies. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of coloring. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. I have the opal rounds. I think these coordinate with the Sand and Sea Suite. I think that's the one they coordinate with. But they are beautiful on butterflies too. So I'm going to take my dark Rococo Rose blend, and I'm going to color one of the larger gems and two of the smaller ones. And because these are alcohol markers, then you can color things like this. So I'm gonna let that sit for a minute, and I'm going to take my butterfly and my wink of Stella, and he's got to have sparkly wings, because why not? All butterflies should have sparkly wings. And this is probably going to be hard to see on camera, but in person it makes him nice and sparkly. And I'm not doing his body, I'm just doing his wings. You could do both, it wouldn't matter. All right, now he has sparkly wings. Maybe you can see that a little bit. Yeah, you can see that a little bit. All right, so I'm ready to put him on my card. So I'm going to use dimensionals for that. So I will put, we'll put two. I like to put him on his body. That way if I want to make his wings curve up a little bit, I can. Makes it look like he's flying. And he's just going to go right here. And then we're going to take our opal rounds that we have colored. And I'll take your pick tool, and I'm just going to hopefully, if I have enough, I can always use my tweezers if I need to. I may not have enough goop on this. Let's just use our tweezers this time. These are a little bit bigger too. With the rhinestones, you'll see how easily that picks it up. So I'm going to take the big one, come here, and it's going to go right below his head. And then the two little ones just right below that. So these are glittery, and now they're Rococo Rose. And so with that and his wink of Stella wings, whoops, scoot over just a little bit. There we go. Now we have one beautiful glittery butterfly. Isn't he pretty? Okay, that's the first card. The second card, where's my sample? I have all my stuff. Here it is, it's hiding. The second card is using, let me see what it's called so I can tell you the right name. This was also in the Valentine Suite. It is called Love You Always Specialty Designer Series Paper. And it comes in 3 colors, and this may be hard to see. No, it's not too bad. It's a little bit glary. So we're using the Rococo Rose. It's also Sahara Sand and Blushing Bride. But it's a real shimmery, hey Debbie, a real shimmery paper. So that's what we're using for our background on this card. This one has no stamping on it whatsoever. It's just using the dies, which I didn't show you with this butterfly set. I know you've seen them before, but just in case somebody new is watching. You've got the set of dies that cuts out all of the butterflies at one time. So this big die cuts all of those out. And then you have these really nice overlay dies. And so that's what I did. I used 3 of these overlay dies, and I cut them out. I cut them out of vellum, and that's what I put on this card. So let's get started. So I have my butterflies. I'm going to set them aside. And I'm going to, here's our card base. Again, I'll put all of the measurements. This one won't have very many measurements at all. I'll put the measurements on my blog. But before we do anything else, you've seen me use this before too. This is some ribbon that was in the holiday catalog that I really like. It's like mesh. It was meant to be like spider webs for Valentine, but I love it just as glittery ribbon to add to anything. Thank you, Michelle. All right, so we're going to take this, and I may not have my tape down here, so we will just use some seal, because you can always do that on the back. Once I get it started. This one's getting almost out. I don't think, oh, it might be out. I think it is. Okay, one moment. I have Stampin' Seal Plus, so we'll just use it tonight. Uh-oh, now I'm dropping things. Oh. Okay, we'll use our Stampin' Seal Plus. It'll work just fine. Come on that side. Make sure this is straight. And now I can go ahead and put it on my card base now that I have my ribbon wrapped around it. All right, and then the way I did these butterflies is I took my glue dots and I just put one glue dot in the body. So this bigger one is going to go down here. And don't worry, you can see it, but we're going to cover it up. And then for the smaller ones, I took the glue dot and I kind of folded it up a little bit just to make it smaller before I put it on this butterfly's body, so it would fit in there. And he's going to go here. And then I'll do the same thing for this one. So I'm just kind of rolling it up on here before I take it off. Put that on this guy's body. He's going to go here. And then to cover up the glue dots and just to add more shimmery, I use my rhinestones. So let me get these out, almost out of this one. Let me grab this other one too. Oh, and at the end, I will tell you who won the card from last week. So on my big butterfly, make sure I'm staying where you can see, I'm going to take, let me get some more of this sticky stuff out. I'm going to take one of the medium ones and put that right at the top of his body, and then two of the smaller ones. And then for the smaller butterflies, I just used 3 small ones. I might be able to get away with a medium one on that. But I had all these small ones on this sheet, so I was just using small ones. And you can see how easily these pick up with this Take Your Pick tool. That one got a little bit off. There we go. All right, that is it. So 2 super easy cards that we did using butterflies again. All right, so I may have told you last week I wasn't going to do butterflies, but I couldn't resist. Next week we'll do something else besides butterflies. Thank you, Allison. We'll probably start looking at the stamp sets that are retiring, and those stamp sets that I have, I'll start sharing cards that I've made or have gotten with those, so you can kind of see how to use them. So if there's something that you really want, you know, to go ahead and get it before they're gone. All right, so last week's card was this one. We had done a card similar to it in class, but a different color. We did one that was like this. But then on camera, because this paper is all sold out, I decided to color the butterflies last week. And so the winner of this card is Betty. So Betty, I will get this one sent to you in the mail. And then everybody that, thank you, Michelle. Everybody that comments tonight will win one of these cards. Just tell me which, or maybe I'll just send you both. I'll just send you both cards. Why not? So I'll send whoever wins for this week will get one of each of these cards. Might as well. So I think that's it. I will get a post ready on Facebook and probably send an email with the link for the retiring list so you can start looking at that and seeing what you want to get before they're gone. I will warn you, and that's why I've been concentrating on these in colors this week. I think this paper is already on back order and may not be orderable anymore. The inks will go fast, the refills will go fast, so if there's any of these colors that you don't have, I would jump on it right away. Okay, I think that's it, and I will get my blog out there so you know the measurements for these, and I will see you next week. Thank you, ladies. Good night.